out what Theresa May could possibly achieve when she goes to Brussels a little bit later on today. Joining me this morning, European politics expert, Professor Anand Menon. Very good morning to you. She has said this is the only deal. Now she's going back to Brussels to try to get a better deal. What could she get?
Well, she's going back to Brussels, she said, to get some guarantees. She's explicitly said we're not going to renegotiate the withdrawal agreement. What she wants the European Union to do is two things. She wants them to say, firstly, here's a bit of paper which is legally binding. It's an international treaty that basically says, don't worry about the backstop, we don't want to deploy it either. But the second thing she wants that's really crucial is she wants the European Union to reiterate that message. There is no other deal on offer, whoever the British Prime Minister might be, so stop talking about alternatives. I think that bit will be absolutely fundamental.
OK. Just for people who are continually wondering why the backstop is such a boil on the face of the Brexit deal at the moment, it doesn't necessarily come into play, does it, the backstop? It is a backstop.
No, absolutely. But it will come into play if Theresa May respects her own red lines. That's to say, the only way not to use the backstop is to be in the single market and the customs union. The Prime Minister said we won't be in the single market and the customs union. That's the dilemma. If we were to say we'll stay in both of them, the backstop wouldn't be an issue at all.
But then that wouldn't deliver Brexit, as many people voted for. And when people say, I voted leave because leave means leave, I thought I was leaving the single market and the customs union.
And that's the conundrum. I mean, if it weren't for Northern Ireland, we could do a Canada deal, there'd be no problem. With a Canada deal, there would have to be a border either between the north and south of Ireland or between the Republic and the rest of the United Kingdom. And that's the dilemma the backstop's meant to solve.
And the backstop keeps us in the customs union until we can work out either some amazing technology, which means that there's no hard border, or something else happens. The problem with the backstop, as I think I understand it, is that at the moment we almost need to ask permission of the EU before we leave it. And that's what's causing so much angst.
Yeah, that's the logjam, because our government says, look, we can't be tied into something that we can't pull ourselves out of if we say so. The Irish government say, what's the point of a backstop if you can stop it whenever you want? That's not a backstop. That just means that we're going to end up with that border.
You say that one of the things she's trying to achieve is she wants the EU to back her up in saying this is the only deal and no other Prime Minister would get that deal. The problem is, lots and lots of her critics say if only she'd been a stronger leader, if only she prepared for no deal, if only we had a proper threat that we could go to the EU with, actually we'd have a much better deal. Is that possible?
Well, the problem she has is she has all sorts of critics in there. The no-deal critics are, you're absolutely right, saying if only we'd prepared, we could have done more. The problem with that argument is, to overcome the problems of no deal, it's not just us that needs to prepare. The French need to be investing a fortune in Calais as well, and they're not, because there are two sides to trade. Whatever we invest at this point, no deal will be very painful. The Prime Minister realises that, so she's desperate to get a deal.
What's the most likely thing to happen?
Well, she'll bring this back. She'll go to Brussels, she'll get some helpful words, and I imagine the whips will be on the phone all over the Christmas, ruining the Christmas of MPs, persuading them the only thing they can do is vote for this if they don't want chaos.
And when is the vote?
Well, she said by the 21st, but I suspect we still might be in a territory where we have two of them. She loses first time, brings it back.
Professor Anand Menon, good to talk to you this morning. Lots more still to come from Westminster. You're watching Good Morning Britain on ITV.